Hey everyone, welcome to More Than Meets These Guys. This podcast is a journey through Transformers from the beginning of the anime series, with two old friends coming at it from different perspectives. Together, we will go episode by episode with the occasional extra to look at how the show holds up, or if it's a trap of nostalgia. We'll be looking at all things involved in the episode, whether there were real-world factors that crept into the writing, or if the episode was typical afternoon cartoon fodder. I'm Evan. I'm the lifelong fan who's familiar with pretty much all aspects of the franchise and the fandom. While Ed here, he's familiar with Transformers, but it was really not really something he was into when he was younger. So I thank you so much for joining us again this week. And Ed, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. So there was a funny thing in an episode of Beavis and Butthead where they're watching this video by a band called Screw. That's a Skrew, Screw, but it's not Screwdriver. It's not the Nazi band. Thank Unicron. So they're watching this band, and it's just some boring industrial metal. And Beavis asks, "Is this White Zombie?" And Butthead goes, might as well be. And Beavis freaked out and he went, "What? Marcus Welby? What?" And when I first saw this when I was a kid, I was dying laughing. I was like, "That's very funny." That's a Marcus Welby reference. You don't always get that in dumb cartoons about two metalheads. That was pretty funny. So for years, and when I say for years, like to this very day, a certain circle of friends and myself will say that when you could answer with "might as well be," we'll say Marcus Welby. Like, "Hey, where's this pizza from? The dumpster?" Like, "No, man, it's from Little Caesars, so Marcus Welby."
Apparently, so, I'm not in the circle of friends, so I've never heard this before.
I don't know how you've never heard. What's funny though is I was going through some Facebook posts today, and I found one where you asked me something, and I actually responded with Marcus Welby, and that was like 4 weeks ago. So I actually have hit you with Marcus Welby in the past.
I probably just thought you're having a stroke or something. I don't know.
Well, that's fine too. But you ask yourself, or you're saying, why is Ed going off on this tangent about 1970s television doctors, Beavis and Butthead episodes? And well, here's why. Because we have arrived at yet another episode of the Transformers written by two people who are not in the inner circle of Transformers writers. This is two new writers who I had not seen before, and spoiler for the next 200 episodes of this show, I don't believe that they're going to show up again. So this is a one and done for these two writers. So these types of writers don't have a good track record so far. That the last episode was two unknowns, and that was a real boring and real dull episode. It was no good. So this is written by Sylvia Wilson and Richard Milton. And guess how much I found out about Sylvia Wilson?
How much did you find out?
Zero. I found nothing about Sylvia Wilson.
Didn't realize that she's a published writer?
I see. I found that, but I don't think, is that the same person?
There is actually two Sylvia Wilsons. She did write novels, and the Sylvia Wilson's also done some published works. So it was very, very spotty. Depends on where you looked, you can find out what she did. Now, I didn't find out much of what she did, but she did some novelizations in the 80s. Not a whole lot though out there about her. Richard Milton though, he's a writer on Darwinism.
No. That's a different guy.
Oh, it's okay. Well, here we go.
That's a different Richard Milton. I found that guy too. Completely different guy. Because there's a Richard Milton who apparently thinks science is the devil, and thinks that and he's very anti-Darwinism, very anti-evolution. And this is a different Richard Milton.
Marcus Welby.
Marcus Welby. This guy though. Who he wrote and directed a bunch of 1970s grown-up TV, like The Incredible Hulk and
really
Marcus Welby, MD. So these were shows that would come on like after something that you watched. These came on after the Dukes of Hazzard, right? And so when you saw that intro, you knew when you were a kid that it was time for you to get out of that living room and go play with toys. And oh man, here comes Cagney and Lacey coming on TV. I gotta go play with my Micronauts or something like that.
There's this great thing. There's a Tom Waits song. He looks just like Cagney. You know, every time he says that, I think he's gonna say Cagney and Lacey, but it's like sounds like Rita Hayworth is the next line.
Oh, he's talking
But
about James Cagney, I
yeah,
guess.
James
Right?
Cagney, yes.
Oh
And every
yeah,
time I hear that line, I think in Lacey because we
Cagney and
grew up in a
Lacey.
time.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That show was all over TV.
Yeah.
But see, if you had responsible parents, then when those came on, you knew it was time to go to bed. So like if it's a school night and you see Johnny Carson's gold curtain come down,
Oh
then you're
yeah.
like, oh, you may as well just give up and go put and go to bed. Or like
Mhm.
if like the intro to Quincy comes on,
Oh yeah.
Quincy medical examiner, that
Mhm.
comes on,
Oh
then
yeah.
you may as well just get in those Boba Fett underoos. And to this day, I see Jack Klugman's face and I get tired because it's just a symbol to go to bed. It's time to go to bed.
Jack Klugman.
Um, but see, the thing is, I've never seen those shows because to watch those now, you have to have like the AARP tier of Netflix, and I don't have that because they're not on regular Netflix. Like for some reason, you can't watch 1970s grown folks TV on regular Netflix for the most part. So, but see, you'll also notice that I said the Incredible Hulk in there, right?
Yeah.
Like that was a grown folk show. But see, you're like, wait a minute, no, that's a kid's show. It's about the Incredible Hulk. It's a comic book show, right? That was
Yeah.
technically one of the first comic book shows, really. I mean, outside of like Batman, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I think so.
but no, see, that's the thing. That was a stealth grown folk show. Because like you watch that show and there's like 3 minutes of Hulk stuff in an hour TV, and the rest of
Yeah.
it is just like Bill Bixby, just talking to people. And so
Trying to be on the run. Yeah.
yeah, right, yeah, exactly. So it's cool when the Hulk's doing Hulk stuff, when he's like, when he transforms and his pants rip and he's on like the wing of a biplane and he's breaking the biplane. That's real cool, But like I didn't want to see Bill Bixby walking around talking to people when I was a kid. And but that was a show where you could go, you could sneak off and go get your Hot Wheels and bring them out into the living room, play with Hot Wheels, while he's just walking around hitchhiking, and then you look up when the Hulk stuff happens, and then you go back to playing with Hot Wheels at the end when that piano music starts. Yeah.
God,
But you got any grown folks shows that either that you liked or that you got psyched out by? Like, remember, like I got psyched out by the Hulk, but were there any that psyched you out or that you really liked or anything?
Man, okay, to this day, I was talking about this recently, actually. To this day, I can always hear the Hill Street Blues soundtrack in my head.
Dun,
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 dun.
dun.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And actually, I went back and watched a little bit of that, and it's a great show. It really is.
That's
But
what I hear. I hear it's kind of a proto like modern drama.
it really is. And you kind of get that feeling of early 80s, inner city, police. Obviously, it's very dramatized, very, it's very light and so on, but it was really good. But I'll tell you the one that I watched probably the most, I got into when I was a little kid, it was grown up people show is Cheers.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah, that was definitely grown folks
it
grown
was
folks TV.
fun. I didn't get a lot of the references when I was younger, but as I got older and went back and watched a little bit of it, yeah, I mean, it comes through really nicely.
That's a good show.
Yeah, oh, excellent show.
Mhm.
I mean, any other like I know for a fact you are an avid Dallas fan.
I am a huge fan of Dallas. I honestly
Surprise me.
I remember Dallas when I was a kid because I vividly remember the Who Shot JR thing and wanting to
Yes.
follow that. I tried to watch Dallas when I was like 6 when this was going on, but I didn't get it because that was two grown folks. Like there wasn't anything to latch on. There weren't any Hulks in that or anything. You couldn't latch onto it when you were a kid.
Yeah.
But that was like a cultural phenomenon. That was like akin. The only thing I can compare it to now is like the finale for Lost or like the last few episodes of like Game of Thrones, where that was something that like everybody watched and it was a cultural thing. It's there aren't a whole lot of shows like that anymore.
I
But
mean, yeah.
I am a huge fan of Dallas. But I came into it through the new series. Actually, that was when I latched onto
Really?
it. Was the new series came out, but it was really good because it gave you enough of the old show because it had all the original cast that were still alive.
Okay.
And it gave you enough of a bridge to that when eventually I was like, well, let me check out the original Dallas, and it's really good. And I actually you guys know that I'm a big fan of tabletop role playing games, and I actually owned the actual Dallas role playing game that was published in the early '80s. I own a copy of that, and one of my
Yeah,
holy
you showed
grails of RPG collecting. Yeah, Dallas is real good stuff. Real good grown folk show.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I associate Dallas with being a little more approachable. rather than, there are other ones like Knots Landing, Falcon Crest, and all that sort of thing. There was like they were way over my head, kind of thing. But J.R. it was J.R. Ewing was kind of a pop culture, icon at the time.
He was. He was. He's top tier bad guy. Also, he's a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen a 45-year-old soap opera, but top tier bad guy. And I have and actually on my Christmas tree, I have a J.R. Ewing Christmas ornament that plays the Dallas theme song. Also,
of course you do.
Of course I do.
Yeah, he's kind of the Lex Luthor of Dallas in a way.
He is. He's kind of he's like a proto Targaryen sort of.
Kind of is. He has all the control. He has all the money, and it's like this whole struggle. Yeah.
Yeah. Real good. One that psyched me out a lot though. That got me every time. When I was a kid at 3:30, cartoons would Tom and Jerry would come on, and I was a Tom and Jerry enthusiast when I was a child. Still am. I'm a big fan of that format. But when that show was over, they would always, I was like, oh, hopefully there's more cartoons coming on, and then there would be a cartoon intro, and I'm like, ooh, more cartoons, and this cartoon curtain would rise up, and the cartoon dude would sweep for a minute, and then like,
oh yeah,
and it's like, oh, cool, more cartoons. So what's this going to be about? And every time I got psyched out every day. Here I was, 5, but Carol Burnett.
Yep.
Hooked me. I'm like, oh, and no, this isn't what I want to watch at all. And to this day, I don't like Carol Burnett because of that. I've still never watched an episode of Carol Burnett because of that.
Some of the best comedians of the time, were on that show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really. So yeah, that's kind of a shame. She's that's a really good show. I think it takes really have an appreciation of a little bit older comedy. It was still a little slapsticky, a little vaudevillian in a way, but yeah, it holds up really nicely. So yeah, I get that for sure. It's funny you talk about the Tonight Show. I loved the Tonight Show. I'd stay up late to watch it, which wasn't really a kid's thing either, but
yeah, but when he did the psychic.
Oh god, I love that
thing. I always thought that was really funny. Even when I didn't get the jokes, I thought it was really funny.
Yeah.
But once I was old enough to appreciate those things, I was kind of punk rock, and David Letterman was the punk rock version of Johnny Carson. So I was a Letterman guy once I was cognizant enough to to appreciate late night show, and because he always had weirdos on there. It was like like Crispin Glover and like Madonna doing weird stuff, and like
he promoted really good music too.
Yeah, he really did. So
it's funny because my mom used to tell me like, oh, that guy's trash. You don't want to watch him, but he had the best stuff on there. So yeah,
it was so good. It was so good. So yeah, but yeah. Any other grown folks shows you like?
Honestly, those are the two that really jump out at me. Like MASH was, an icon of the 80s, and I never really got into it because I didn't really understand the a lot of the jokes. I understand a guy trying to get out of the being in the army because he was cross dressing or anything. I didn't get that joke. I didn't understand it.
I didn't get that either. I thought Klinger was funny.
Oh,
I thought Radar was funny, but and there were helicopters in it, and so I wanted to watch it because I thought it was going to be war stuff going on, but it was just like doctors talking about stuff, and like,
being very
my grandma laughed, and I was like, my grandpa thought it was hilarious because he was in he was in like World War II and Korea and Vietnam, so he thought it was hilarious, but I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on in this. So yeah. But speaking of not knowing what's going on in something, hey, I watched some Transformers this week.
Speaking of things that were really, really big in the 80s, ninjas. So this is Enter the Nightbird.
Dude, this, oh my god, this is
hilarious. I'm sorry, I love this episode so much.
Dude, man. So we start off, but they're putting security in the Ark.
Yeah, I know. Finally,
this is how many episodes that I've been yelling about them to do this.
So the best
20 episodes. I'm like,
installing sensor panels for the floor.
They didn't. They neglected to install here though? A door. There's still no door here. I noticed they did later on. They did put a camera in. There's a camera there.
There's like one's closer camera like in the entrance that you can easily sneak by. Apparently.
Yeah, and it's got like a really bad sweep. It's very Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, it is.
You lean against the wall. You push circle to lean against the wall, and then you sneak in. So
But yeah, so Wheeljack's having everyone work on these little panels and install them. Not at all foreshadowing of what's coming. This guy shows up on Teletran 1. Optimus Prime, come quickly.
Dr. Fujiyama,
the famous
the
scientist.
famous scientist. Okay, so
I'm sorry. I said this in the wrong way. This was Cliffjumper speaking in his full Casey Kasem. Optimus Prime, come quickly. It's Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist. I thought he was going to start naming off the top 40.
Oh, so good. Yeah. That's the best sort of titles when you add the famous whatever at the end. Like, and it's a dumb thing that's actually part of my normal lexicon. I say that all the time, just kind of kidding or just, being silly or whatever.
Yes, you do actually.
But when I hear someone else say it, it is the funniest thing. But I decided that at some point we really need to get really famous. We need to get rich doing this show, so that when we're somewhere, they can be like, oh my God, there's Ed, the famous podcaster. Like I demand this title at some point in my life. I need this to happen. Yeah, we need to start churning out more content here, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm trying, man.
All right, man.
We're on it. So there's this
famous scientist.
Yes. And there's this whole exchange with them, and they asks if the Decepticons could eavesdrop on them, and I'm like, Iron Guy goes, "Oh, not likely." Like, what? So, he's not been paying attention.
When Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist, asks this, he gets real close. So he's like they're talking over a video monitor, so they're like 1980s FaceTiming here. But when he asks about this, he gets real close to the monitor, and like he looks both ways, like real paranoid and conspiratorial. Like, this is how when a racist person tells you a racist joke, that's how they always start out. They always like, "Hey man, you want to hear a joke? Look left, look right." Okay. And all right, I don't want to hear those jokes. Yeah, I don't want to hear those jokes.
You know what?
Yeah, that's legit, y'all. I don't want to hear those jokes at all.
Not likely.
Not likely. What? So he's at the Hall of Justice, another Hall of Justice, because somebody was at a different Hall of Justice last week.
Oh, and I gotta jump here real quick.
Okay.
Did you see there was this pan of all the Autobots, and they're all sitting there like side-jawed and wide-eyed. They're hearing about what's happening, where they're going, and what this guy's working on. They are and they start ribbing each other like, "Oh, see, this is gonna be really bad, but okay, we'll go anyways." But either they're surprised or they're confused. Like, is he really doing this? I don't know what's going on. So anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, carry on there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess halls of justice were the architectural standard for any important building at this point, because we've seen a lot of domes with like logos across the front of them in this show, which is fine. It was good. This one it was almost like Hall of Doomish, though. It was or like what was that what it was called, the Hall of Doom?
That was the
God, we're coming out of the swamp.
It was in the swamp, yeah.
A Legion. Yeah, like, you don't talk. It was like a big.
Well, it was Legion. I don't know if they had it like Hall of Doom.
Maybe it was called the Hall of Doom, but it was like a big multi-faced Darth Vader head that would pop up out of the.
It was actually. So I gotta say, the inside of this place reminds me of the old Bayfront Auditorium in Pensacola. It looked really ostentatious on the outside. The inside, it's like, oh, it's just like a community theater place. Okay.
Yeah, like this is it. Yeah. There's folding wooden chairs here.
Seriously.
Ratchet goes, they're talking about what they're going to unveil, and Ratchet goes, "I wonder if batteries are included." And so
pissed.
Optimus Prime was mad. This dude
chastises him.
Dude, like, we're not here to crack jokes. This dude was so mad about them cracking jokes, and like, I kind of felt bad for him, because it was, Optimus Prime's usually, just like serious, but this was just like beyond this.
Yeah, they felt real bad. So I gotta ask something. They unveil the female ninja robot. For one thing, okay, why does it matter if it's female? It's a ninja robot.
Can a robot have a gender?
Oh, well, okay. Well, we'll put a pin in that one for later on.
Okay.
But yeah, so why does it matter it's a female ninja robot? Okay, first of all, this episode already has two of the best things for a kid in the 80s: ninjas, robots.
Robots, right. Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we're
In
about to
your
hit
word,
peak
robots.
80s. Robots. Yeah, we're about to hit peak 80s stuff here. And so when they pull a tarp off of this thing, right? Because it's huge. It's like probably about 20 feet tall, I guess. And when they pull the tarp off, it makes like a mechanical sound, like so somehow I don't know why it made this sound pulling it off, but
They oil their pulley system.
I don't know if you caught this, but they pan through the crowd, and April O'Neil from Ninja Turtles is in the crowd.
I did not see that.
Yeah,
I saw
she's
the
covering
comic
it.
book guy in there.
Yeah, she's a really good reporter. She's covering this. She's covering this thing here.
Did you see? Okay, so Jazz is completely hip to what's going on. Yeah, I read about them. Ninjas were deadly assassins. He has this long drawn out ninja.
He was really into this.
Doc, you heard about ninjas? So
God.
it's like David Crosby stands up and says, "Why build a ninja robot, Doctor? Isn't that dangerous?"
Oh man, that was the end. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he was short-haired David Crosby.
So yeah, so Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist, is he goes into this whole thing about, oh no, she's not meant for assassinations. Like, why in God's name did you build a ninja then? That's the primary job of a ninja. Like that reminds me of the end of American Ninja. You ever seen American Ninja with Michael Dudikoff?
Dude, how many years ago? Probably yes.
Like total bottom tier 80s action film.
Yeah.
Which I love. There's a really good one there's a really good beach fight scene in that where a bunch of ninjas attack him, but he's wearing a body glove wetsuit and he fights all these ninjas in a body glove.
I cannot remember that movie. I know I've seen it.
It's an American Ninja 2, I think. But
oh, I'm sorry.
But yes, I have seen all of the entire
I have zero
of
doubts.
American Ninja films.
I have zero doubts you've seen all the American Ninja movies.
I'm a connoisseur of the American Ninja films.
You are.
So at the end of one of them, I think it's one or two, Michael Dudikoff, the American Ninja, is leaving, and he's talking to he's about to get on an airplane. The mission's over, the adventure's over, and it's like kind of a lighthearted, like, haha, see you later, buddy. Sure was a cool adventure we got into. And so his friend goes, see you later, American Ninja. Just don't kill me. And so Michael Dudikoff goes, a real ninja only kills in honor for self-defense.
No, he doesn't.
And I was like, what are you talking about? What does an assassin mean to you? How honorable is it to be an assassin? Your job is you kill for money. That's not self-defense. That's not honorable. And besides, back to the episode, if he didn't build her for battle or assassinations, why is she carrying a pair of nunchucks
and like a lightsaber?
Just size on her wrists.
Yeah.
And there's two lightsabers. She has like Gundam beam sabers on her back.
Yeah, she does. Well, okay, why? Because ninjas are cool. And he's obviously a man of culture, Dr. Fujiyama. So if he's going to make a robot, he's going to make a robot ninja.
Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist.
Yeah, the famous scientist, of course.
The famous scientist.
But what happens? Trailbreaker is sitting in front of a door, and that slow melt, you see like in metal doors starts happening, and he gets blown across the auditorium, and it's like it's rumble and frenzy. And I can't remember who says it. It's that dynamical delinquent rumble.
Yeah, something like that. And
metal. I don't know.
They were real bottom tier Transformers insults. I didn't even bother to write them down. They were so bad.
I had to write it down because otherwise I'd forget this beauty.
Yeah. Laserbeak breaks through, and he's got the TIE Fighter sound again.
100%. So, okay, this is what kills me. So they were just blasting in this auditorium. Jazz is trying to fire back at Rumble and his punk friend Frenzy, and Optimus stops him because he might hurt the humans, even though like the punks are shooting everywhere.
Everybody, everywhere. Yeah, they're blowing this whole place. It's like almost like a cannon. They're taking the top of this dome off. Something else. Here's a little foreshadowing for you also that that Nightbird has Megatron's color scheme. So we know where this is going.
100%.
She's gray and purple. We know where this is going, right?
My favorite scene of this though, Megatron Kool-Aid Man's right through the wall.
Oh yeah. He does.
He does. He's just like knocking the wall out of the way.
So this whole place starts collapsing. Like a geodesic dome inside, I guess, starts collapsing, and somebody has some rubble fall on them. Some rubble, not rumble, rubble fall on them, and the girders have me pinned. I don't know. I think it was Ironhide. Yeah, this was real funny. And Optimus Prime goes to save him, but Megatron shoots him in the back here, and Optimus Prime gets totally housed. But I don't know if they used the wrong voice here or something,
It's
but it's
Spielberg's
like
voice. I heard that too.
it was like her.
Yeah. Chris Christopherson came out of
wrong.
Optimus Prime's mouth. Yeah.
You went flying.
Oh,
It
so
was
okay. This thing next though, the jets like cut the top of the dome like a can opener. It pull like grappling hooks, yank it open like a top, and they like this is a line. Starscream goes, "We're not staying long, Auto boobs. We just
auto
came to
moves.
pick up a friend."
Oh,
Oh
that was good.
God,
Yeah, they were because they were like hovering also, and it was like
yeah,
they're like dropping. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So
love
they
it.
steal the ninja robot, which we saw where that was going.
Yeah, of course,
Um,
100%.
so apparently, but they have a new base though. They moved.
Very low key base.
It's very low. It's
You can't see. You would never know they're there.
it's,
There's not like a giant purple Decepticon symbol
it's a
carved
giant
into the side of
Decepticon
a
head as a
mountain.
base. But the door to get in is it's rocks, and Soundwave has to light up the symbol on his chest like he's in Superman 2. And it opens these rocks, and then there's a door that's shaped like a rupee from Legend of Zelda, and that opens up so they can get in. That's how they get in. This is wait, dude, they've got double doors here. Dude, these guys have it figured out. The Autobots don't have any doors.
The best part is they are as stealthy as Cobra is with their bases. You know, Cobra
Yeah.
always puts a giant Cobra on the top of their base. They
Mhm.
don't know how GI Joe finds them.
Like, yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't
Must have been
know.
those terror drones we had around with Cobra symbols on every radar dish we had. So,
Right. So yeah, that's my line. The Decepticons have a really low key secret base now.
I thought, I'm all for it. I think it's stylish.
Oh, it's extremely stylish. It's very 80s villain. So apparently Bombshell is the new Decepticon equivalent to Wheeljack. He's like taking pieces out, shoving these big things in her chest. It doesn't fit. He's just like pushing this power thing inside of Nightbird's chest.
Yeah, he pulled an Atari cartridge out of there, and but he replaced it with a metal football, and then he put another Atari cartridge in the back of her head. So I don't know why he didn't just use those little pellets he had last time. He had those little pellets. He could have just used that at the thing. They could have done it at the stadium, at the Hall of Justice.
I guess.
And not have to. They didn't have to blow up the thing or open up the can opener or anything like that.
Well, apparently he had to like put in like a really high. He had to put like a lithium battery in there because he was using like a AAA or something like that in Dr. Fujiyama. So he put like a full on heavy duty lithium battery in the middle of her chest. Triple her output apparently.
A tripler.
Okay, so I got to jump to this real quick. We wonder where the Autobots are getting all their energy from because they don't have to steal it.
Well, okay, so they established early on, and like at the end of the original miniseries, that the Earth gave the Autobots all basically control of the world's energy, right?
Yeah.
So her mission is to steal the world energy chip from the Autobots, and then kill the Autobots, of course, because like 20 Decepticons can't do that. They had one. She can't even transform. What's she doing here?
Okay, I gotta say though, I really like how under the console it's actually labeled World Energy Chip. It's like steal this right here. This arrow is pointing. Yeah. So this is big green. I don't know. It's like it's a World Energy Relay. Is what it was. It was a giant relay. She yanked out of the Teltran 1.
Yeah, it looked like it was real wide, like a Neo Geo cartridge. If you ever knew a
that's
kid
great.
that had a Neo Geo.
Callback to that.
Yeah. So back at the now destroyed Hall of Justice, though, like Mirage comes up with this shaky voice, and it's Optimus Prime, and he's like, "The damage report is not too good, Prime." And so Optimus Prime is standing in these crumbling ruins. It looks like Warhammer terrain, and he just goes, "All right, well, let's transform and roll out."
Okay, I gotta say something real quick. Probably because I'm dealing with like science, hierarchy in my schooling. Dr. Fujiyama makes sure Optimus knows that he has no doctorate. Mr. Prime.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
He did. You're no Dr. Prime. You're Mr. Prime. I just died. Like, whoa. He said you didn't finish your degree, Optimus.
No, huh.
Yeah.
All right. I wonder if like Dr. Pepper pulls that with Mr. Pibb. I wonder if he just constantly doesn't call him by his full Christian. He doesn't call him by his first name.
Dr. Pepper's a doctor.
Right.
He's got a PhD in flavor.
So So Optimus Prime mentioned something about some injured or whatever, and so apparently that the wounded were just was just like Brawn, that he's like holding his shoulder, like.
Oh man, that's another.
So
Okay,
they
that's gonna
totally
come up
abandoned this,
again much later. But anyways, go ahead.
they just abandoned this war zone. They're just like,
Just throw
see you
Braun in
later.
the
We gotta go.
back.
We gotta get out of here.
Well, we can't break any more here. I guess we'll leave.
So yeah, he hops in Ratchet, and but then we cut back to the Ark, and here's Nightbird singing in the dead of night. She busts into the Ark like she's Solid Snake, and this is really cool because I'm a big Metal Gear fan.
Okay, by the way, I gotta ask you, did you realize they had done that much infrastructure building inside Mount St. Hilary, inside this this wannabe Mount St. Helens? They had the whole inside of this volcano, all like metal, they had an elevator going from like, I don't know where, maybe Sparkplug and like Wheeljack have a rec room up in the top floor. I don't know. But they were like, they have this whole system that we've never seen before.
That's the
Apparently
ship that's just the ship though, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. Went up inside the volcano. Is all I know.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe
They've been busy. They didn't show off their stuff. They're not very blingy with their stuff in the base. I guess they could put a door. I guess on the front though.
Still can't put a door on the front. They have out.
Put a top on the volcano. My God.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on, man. What's yeah, it's yeah, like putting a sauna in your house without having with a leaky roof.
Yeah.
So but she's all over this place, man. She's got like magnets in her feet, and she's defeating all of. She's like Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment. She's getting past all these lasers, and
100%.
This is cool. The Autobots find her though, and she's got her hands turned into like buzz saws.
I gotta say, before that happens though, Mirage finds her in a dark hallway and she throat punches him. He starts gasping and like choking.
Yeah.
Then she summarily beats the ever loving hell out of him. She's just like bam, 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 and he's just standing there in the hallway like, what just happened?
She houses every one of these guys. She takes them all out. This is great.
Oh, yeah.
And then she escapes with the with the chip. She has the Neo Geo card, and she escapes. And they blast her off of a mountain.
Yeah.
And Optimus Prime's like, oh, she was playing Roboto Possum.
Roboto Possum. So no, she does this whole like Dazzler routine. It disappears. She spins and does like the whole sparky, lighty show, and she's gone. Like, oh, where'd she go? Yeah, that's the whole Roboto Possum.
Roboto Possum. She has a lightsaber.
She stole his gun.
She stole Optimus Prime's gun. She has a lightsaber with the sound effects, like with the full blown, like lifted from, like Star Wars sound effects.
And the best part about this is, Optimus Prime is suddenly an expert on ninjas. He's like, oh, it is said that a ninja likes to take a souvenir from
the enemies,
battle or fights, or
I don't know where that's some trash that came from like one of the like Shokasugi movies or something like that.
100%.
Only a ninja can kill a ninja. Like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. But so she has this lightsaber and she's dueling with Optimus Prime, and instead she has like it's a stick of ultimate destruction when you have a lightsaber, and like just wave it around. She hits him with the back of the hilt and to knock him out. Like,
where is his axe, by the way? His laser axe.
This would have been a perfect axe versus.
That's on my notes. So where is his laser axe now?
Oh my God!
But they're chasing her up through the inside of this like cave and stuff. And who is the only one who can't jump up to the cliff?
Cliff jumper.
Yeah. Apparently that was an intentional joke in the writers put in there, or the animators put in there. Yeah, the only one who couldn't just jump up there is Cliff Jumper.
No kidding. No.
No kidding. Yeah, I was talking to Taboo about that earlier. But so okay, there's this whole thing where Megatron is saying that he's replacing Starscream, and there's a whole thing going on, and he cages Starscream in this like electro net thing that apparently he was made for the Autobots. And Starscream turns into the kid from the Babadook. He's like, he's freaking out inside this cage. It was the weirdest thing. He just has a temper tantrum while Megatron and takes everyone else out there to go, rescue her and save the day kind of thing for for Nightbird. It was the best thing ever. I've never seen him. I've watched the show a lot. I don't remember him freaking out like this. He's usually like conniving, gets along. He just loses it. And
Dude,
inside
that was so funny.
It was great.
Somebody called him Nitro Nose. And there's a lot of zingers in this one, and not all of them landed, but I did like Nitro. Nitro Nose was really good. So we flash back to the Autobots, and somebody says something like that they've stolen the chip that itemizes the world's energy supply.
Yeah.
That itemizes the world's energy supply. They stole an Excel file.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
That was all they stole.
Excel file from all the
.xls is what they stole here. So
that was the lamest chip.
It was pretty bad. That was really anticlimactic there. But however, we come to find out that Optimus Prime ends up with her lightsaber.
Yep.
And but she has a tractor beam also, and she takes it back. But then we find out that she has 2 of them on her back. So she could have just. Why did she even? Why keep it, Optimus Prime? I have another one, and I'm really good at fighting with these things.
And look, if someone took my lightsaber, I'd be pissed.
Same. Even if I had 2.
I don't care if I had 2 others. I want my lightsaber back.
That's a good point. She's also got like a ton of like shuriken, and she defeats every move the Autobots have with these things. It's like use your this blaster, and she's throwing shurikens into him to jam them up. Jazz comes out with speakers, and she jams up speakers with throwing stars. How cool was that?
Like panels inside of her chest. She just like pulls out handfuls of shuriken. But it wasn't meant to be like an aggressive ninja that was supposed to do anything bad. But
she's not built for battle
for days.
She's not built for battle at all.
She's not built for battle now.
No. You can tell from this that she's not built for battle because she's real bad at it.
Dr. Fujiyama's going, I shouldn't have loaded all the shuriken inside of her. That was a mistake.
Who said that?
No, I'm saying that's Dr. Fujiyama's probably thinking that back in his
Fujiyama, the famous scientist.
The famous scientist. You know the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that one. I didn't know.
I should have given her the 3 lightsabers. I shouldn't have given her the Sai. I should have made like rotary saws come out of her hands. That was a bad idea too.
Not built for battle.
Not built for battle. But it was just added features.
Dude, so Megatron is watching her do this stuff on the villain screen, and he is just going. He's losing his mind. Dude, this is what it's like. Okay, so you see this? If you ever come over and hang out with me and watch like New Japan Pro Wrestling, like this is what I'm like when I'm like in the middle of like Kenny Omega versus Katsuyori Shibata or something like this. This is 100% me when I'm watching like a big title match, like especially like the last like 10 minutes of this match. I'm just going nuts. Like
I can see that.
So yeah,
I've seen you go crazy about things. I can totally see that.
My rating scale for a match is how long did I stand up during the match? Like,
yeah,
like because I'll be like I gotta stand up, like football game too. Watch
football. Yeah, 100%.
Football. I'm like
100%. I gotta stand up and stomp around and like stare at the screen. Like come on.
That's a good match.
Stomp around the room. That's a great game.
Exactly. Good match. Yeah, exactly. So somehow they get the chip out of Nightbird.
Yeah, she's like carrying it and then knocked out of her hand, and like there's a big scuffle about it, and and I can't remember who grabs it, and she knocks it
up in the air, and then Optimus Prime grabs it, right? And then the literally the next scene is him turning around to look at Megatron, and it's not in his hand anymore.
No, he palmed that thing. He's like done.
Maybe he did. Maybe he put it in. Maybe he put it in the driver's seat. Open the door and put it in the driver's seat.
Put in there. No one knows the wiser. It's fine. It's in there. It's safe now. It's the world energy Excel file. He needs that with him at all times. So
I will say they honestly they did kind of clarify that though, because they said what the information is in that file is how you access all these different things. So basically, I guess it would probably be like sort of like passcodes for like hydroelectric dams and
which makes
sense. Like the security codes for like nuclear power plants, that kind of thing. And honestly, it does kind of make sense. As much as I make fun of it, and as much as it's like, oh, they stole a spreadsheet. Like, well, honestly, that is kind of an important spreadsheet.
I mean, you think like the world leaders would give it to someone who had a front door.
there's got to be some like, look, man, look, Autobots, we want to help you out here, but we need some kind of security safeguards here.
Guys, the kid who hangs out with you brings in Decepticons in their tape mode. There's giant metal birds who perch and listen to you guys. There's metal panthers that go and listen. You guys got to have some sort of thing
all the time.
All the time. And there's Decepticon spies just hanging out behind a rock listening to you guys when you walk in your garage door. Constantly. It happens all the time. We have to have a talk here.
No, yeah. Starscream manages to get out of this. He shoots a missile and gets out of this prison. Yeah. A missile that doesn't explode, which is pretty cool. Out of his wrist.
He's watching everything on the villain CRT, by the way.
He was. And so, but the battle. He's watching the battle between the Autobots and Decepticons, and like Optimus Prime is just like distraught, and he's like Megatron, you fiend! But the Autobots were winning the battle. Yeah. Like they had the cartridge, and they had everything. They were winning. Like why was he? I mean, yes, Megatron is a fiend. That is not a matter of dispute. But I don't know why he was so desperate to call him a fiend when it was like, you're winning the fight, bro.
It's all about posturing. 100% posturing.
I guess, man.
He did his best Captain America calling out, the Red Skull.
Yeah, I guess he was cutting a promo while he was doing it.
Totally, 100%.
Speaking of wrestling, we got a wrestling match here. Nightbird hit a suplex, and she hit a jumping sidekick. This was pretty cool. This was about the amount of wrestling I wanted out of a ninja. And then the Autobots they beat the Decepticons. They capture her, take her back, and then Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist, locks her up forever.
But okay, I know she is a robot.
Mm-hmm.
She's a ninja robot,
right?
She has like the face of like Sub-Zero. She has like that mask thing going on. I don't. That wasn't really impressive that he got that to happen. He made that. He pulled that off.
Yeah, she did have kind of, because she had the mouth and nose covering, but she had very organic looking like skin around the eyes almost. But then we get the they lock her up in this like cryo chamber, and then it's like, but you get the glowing eyes
and amazingly through all of that, she's not really damaged.
What? No, she wasn't damaged. Well, that was the thing, is like Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist, was really concerned about them not damaging her because the parts were irreplaceable. What's he going to do with her? He's going to lock her up forever. What's he going to do with her? Why does it matter?
He's going
to lock her up. What's up?
He's going to research. And, honestly, we got to ask, why did he stress that she's female?
I don't want to make any generalizations here, but because Japan.
Oh, okay.
This is the country that gave us Legend of the Overfiend.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay.
This country gave us the video game with a butt that you poke.
Oh, you're right. Actually, you're right. Actually I've seen pictures of that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I'm not trying to make a gross generalization here, but I mean, it's as much as I love anime, I love lots of these things. Yep. There's some weird stuff that comes out of there. So,
right there with you. I completely agree with you.
I'm going to get canceled for this. I'm ready to be canceled, and so you guys can cancel me for saying that.
Yeah. You just spoke truth.
But I don't understand why he was so concerned about her not being hurt.
Because he wanted to use her for research.
He's not researching her. He just locked her up forever. He said, "I'm locking her up forever." He's not going to do it. She's locked up forever. How's he going to research her? He's going to run CAT scans on her for 50 years.
Well, I mean, he left the big metal football inside of her too.
Well, that was what the eyes were. That's why eyes were glowing, because like whatever. Something else though. She never said a single word in this entire.
No.
She failed. There's no Bechdel test here for Transformers. Period. You can't even rate it.
Well, guys, let's say she's also a ninja. Ninjas are silent.
Ninjas are the silent killers.
Right? Yes, they are the silent
killers.
Not
just diabetes, also ninjas.
I mean, Dr. Fujiyama is the famous scientist, so he would know this. Scientist. Yes. He would know. Famous scientist we've never heard of before.
Oh,
put that out there. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
apparently, he's got the number to the ARC, so that's important though.
The FaceTime number for the ARC.
Yeah, 100%.
So they intimate at the end of this that she's still cognizant of what's going on. So, but may I venture a guess that we never see this character again in all of Transformers?
Ever again. Now I'll tell you that people love to write fan fiction, so we'll leave that there. But also this not this character obviously, but this named character is in the new Transformers live action movie coming out.
Oh, okay.
There's a character called Nightbird, and it looks like she is a female transforming assassin. So
Oh, cool.
they love to rehash those trademarks to make sure they stay fresh. So yeah, you'll never see her again. It's done. It was a one-off.
Did she ever show up in like the comic books or anything like that, or like the new comic books? Did anybody ever like pick that? I feel like that's something that's ripe for being picked up and having like a thing happen or something like that.
They brought up figures of her again, like toys and stuff, but I don't want to say no because I there's too many comics I haven't read all of them.
Mhm.
I don't think so, but I may be wrong. So if I'm wrong, someone show up to the Discord and tell me I'm wrong. But
Oh,
yeah,
they will.
yeah, I know they will. Yeah, 100%. I've probably forgotten more than I'll ever know again about Transformers. So, but yeah, it is a one-off. She doesn't show back up at the show at all. It's done.
Okay.
Dr. Fujiyama has his ninja robot, a female ninja robot.
Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist.
Yes, he's a famous scientist.
Please address him by his full title, please.
Yeah, I apologize, Dr. Fujiyama, the famous scientist.
Famous scientist, right?
Yeah, he's gonna have to refill her shuriken, I guess, just in case I should put her down. God, that makes. Yeah, I know. Okay, look, early '80s. What did we all want to be in the early '80s? I wanted to be a ninja. Kids across from the street from me wanted to be ninjas. Kids want to be ninjas or wrestlers, or
dude. Okay, look, there were like ninjas were such a thing. People either forget this or they don't remember these things. They don't remember it, or like they're not old enough to have experienced this. But there were multiple ninja magazines that came out every month to deal with ninja things. There was that many ninjas on the face of the earth in the early to mid 80s that like there was multiple journalistic attempts to follow all of the inner workings of the ninja.
100%. I mean, there was the American Ninja.
There was American Ninja, right?
Yes.
There was Enter the Ninja.
Yes, there was.
Revenge of the Ninja.
Oh, 100%.
Ninja 3: The Domination.
God,
Ninja Domination is fantastic. That's a fantastic movie. That movie is absolutely amazing.
I'm sure it is. No. I'm just in awe of your amazing knowledge of ninja movies, along with the American Ninja movies. Very, I'm not at all shocked. I'm gonna, 100% pure respect.
We'll have to start a thread on Discord about ninja films. Because I'm a fan. Yeah, shocker. I'm a fan.
Man, if it's Saints football, if it's ninjas, and if it's wrestling, you're there.
I'm there.
Tabletop games.
Or tabletop games.
You're there. So yeah. Yeah, man. So what you thought of the episode? Give me your rating.
Man. So this was like we said, this is peak 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Like we had robots, we had ninjas, we had a Japanese dude, we had like a Japanese scientist. That was a real
famous scientist.
That was a famous scientist. But Japanese people were, that was like I don't want to say a novelty, but that was like ooh man, that's real cool in the 80s. That was real cool if you were Japanese, because you knew things that white people didn't know back then, that Westerners didn't know. So that was real cool. This was a big big peak 85 here. Man, like, oh god, adult brain is gonna have to go. I had a lot of fun watching this. I had a lot of fun watching this when I was an adult. That said, there was some Orientalism in here that was just kind of like, and it wasn't bad, but it was definitely a product of the 1980s, like I was saying. Mm-hmm. Hopefully me acknowledging this undoes some of the canceling that I got that happened to me a few minutes ago here. But is it like adult brain for that kind of stuff, because it's kind of like gonna have to go like, oh man, like I don't know, 2.5 famous scientists out of 5. However, Kid Brain here is all in on this. Absolutely loved it. I was obsessed with ninjas when I was a kid. It's the ninja bell curve where you're, it's like you're a certain age, it's ninjas. and then it slides into cars and girls, and then you get to a certain age where it slides back into ninjas, and I'm fully I'm fully back into the ninja camp these days. So I'm past the bell curve.
We accept you.
Of being in my 20s, and I'm totally back on Team Ninja. I was totally into like and I like that. So Kid Brain here, has to go. Ooh, man. We had some good fights in it. We had lightsabers in this. We had Star Wars references. We had
Of course, Star Wars sounds.
Star Wars sounds. Oh God, we had roboto possums in this. Kid Brain's gonna have to go 4.5.
What?
Flea market throwing stars out of 5. Kid Brain was 100% bought in. I was in the ninja cult. I'm still in the ninja cult. Absolutely adored this episode. It was a lot of fun, and even adult brain only dings it on the weird on the weird pseudo cultural insensitivity here. So this was a blast. I really liked it. This week I'm probably gonna have to end up watching at least Pray for Death or Ninja 3: The Domination. So
of course, as you would.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this is one of those episodes that it's almost like a bit of infamy as far as Transformers fans goes, because it's such a weird episode, man. It's such a product of the 80s, and being that we are products of the 80s, it was a great episode. I enjoyed the heck out of it. Even like the little things like the cliff jumper joke, but then like Optimus Prime with his weird knowledge of ninjas suddenly. I don't know if he just he downloaded some like ninja movies, like he downloaded like Ninja 3: The Domination. I don't know. It was a lot of fun, even with the obvious Japanese scientist, the whole angle thing going on. I loved it, man. Honestly, it easily, with everything involved, it's easily 3.5 out of 5 lightsabers that you don't actually even have to use. So it 100%, it was a fun episode. It was actually well animated. It was. I loved listening to Starscream pull the Babadook kid in the cage. 100% great. Seeing him get jealous and go, throw a tantrum. Loved it all. Oh, 100%. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, honestly, love it. And that said, I'm gonna wrap this up by saying, hey, once again, everyone, thank you. Hey, I want to say welcome to the Discord, Trigger. Like having you here. Cool posting art and stuff in the Discord, really cool. He was coming into the Discord, Ed and I are, a couple older gentlemen. So he comes in and says, "Oh, I'm probably younger than all you." Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're, 18 or you're, 50. Have fun. It's also all about being, a fan of the franchise and community and stuff. So please, check out in the show notes the Discord link if you'd like, and join the small but growing community. So if you have a podcast app that you can, if you wouldn't mind, get a rating on there. Say something to us on the, give us a little review. If you watch the YouTube feed, give us a thumbs up. That'd be amazing. It'd help others come across us, or share a link with a friend. I think that's how Trigger actually found it. He's someone shared him a link, said you'd like the show, which he seems to. So which is great. That's actually how the things get out, because being that Ed is not the famous podcaster yet, myself either. It would be important to live his dream. You see it through.
Help us get to help me earn this title, guys.
Yes, famous podcast.
I really need this.
So yeah. And if you just want to send an email, if you don't want to join any kind of community, cool, that's fine. I know people are kind of weird about getting involved in communities. They don't, they're kind of apprehensive. Send us an email, Morethanmeetstheseguys at Gmail, or Edhatestransformers at Gmail. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Ed, do you have any follow, things to end us up with, quotes or anything like that?
Hey, nobody calls Soundwave uncrasematic.
Oh yeah, from the '86 movie.
Is it? Okay.
And I can hear all these lines in my head.
Oh yeah.
Hey, no one calls Soundwave uncrasematic. Yeah. It's fantastic. So yeah, well, into there, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we will see y'all next week. Takes out of here, man.
Roll out.
Thank you. See you later, guys.